At the Cattle Industry Conference in San Antonio, talking now with Bob McCan, Texas cattle producer, wrapping up his time as the president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. I'm sure this last year's flown by.
It has, Ken. It's been a great year, you know, and I was very fortunate to be able to serve as president in a year when we had such good market conditions and great prices, and cattlemen are feeling pretty positive about the industry. So it was a fun year, and culminating in this convention here, it's great that we've got so many folks here. Broke a record this morning of the most attendance at a NCBA convention ever, with over 8,200 registrants. So.
When we look at a Bob McCan time as president, there's a number of highlights. Let's just talk about a couple of them, and obviously the first one is where we saw prices this year.
That's right, and the increase in prices and where the market dynamics kind of came together with lower grain prices and higher cattle prices, and the inventory where it's at of the cow herd made for just a wonderful year for cattlemen. Of course, looking ahead, we're really everyone realizes that we need to build this nation's beef herd up to an inventory that's going to be a little more sustainable for the demand we have. We've had wonderful demand domestically and internationally this year, so we certainly need to be building our inventory.
Trade is one that also there's been maybe not all the victories, but amazingly that's actually part of the discussion now in Washington to get some of those things finally moving.
It is, and this is an issue that you know, NCBA will be working both sides of the aisle to try to in a bipartisan effort to try to help get trade promotion authority passed, and doing all we can to help the administration there. So it's kind of ironic. We finally have hit an issue that we're in agreement with the administration, and we're trying to do all we can to help them. And so we're looking forward to seeing some good things happen with trade negotiations. So.
Also announced at this meeting, you had a press conference with the National Sheriff's Association that a memorandum of understanding has been reached at NCBA, and the nation's sheriffs are going to work together on issues of common interest. Maybe bring us through that process, if you will.
Sure, Ken. That's something we've been talking to that association about for a year or two. The sheriffs have some expertise in some areas that we could sure use help on, and we have a lot of expertise in areas that we think we can help them on, such as cattle handling, beef quality assurance programs. They've got a lot of expertise in the transportation issues, which we've had to spend a lot of time in Washington on, you know, for truck weights, the 30-minute rest rule. Lots of different issues, so we feel like we can collaborate with the Sheriff's Association, and after all, those guys are our first responders out in these rural areas where, you know, 98% of our membership lives. So.
Any other highlights we want to talk about? I'm sure you could talk about a number of different things and all the places you've been, but any other reflections as we wrap up your year right in the big chair?
Well, I think kind of a highlight for me this year, Ken, was the culminating the year in 2014 with the omnibus spending bill and the things that we were able to get accomplished for cattlemen and cattle producers out in the country within that bill at a very short time period, a very short window of time. We got it done in the House, and it all transferred through the Senate, and got a presidential signature on it. So we were very proud of that moment, and it just goes to show that our staff was prepared and ready to move at a moment's notice, and then we got things done. So.
Well, Bob, thanks for your service and pleasure working with you.
All right, thank you, Ken.
Bob McCan, outgoing president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. That's the Ag View from San Antonio. I'm Ken Rogers.